What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. This is a spoiler review for Fantastic Four First Steps. Shout outs to Disney Mina and Marvel Mina for giving me the opportunity to go into early screening, which was last week. I didn't do an initial reaction and immediately. I just went to wait. Me and Kibbs are going to do a full-on reaction, so that will come out later on. But I did want to give out my thoughts after a week and just kind of taking some time to think about the movie. All in all, I've really enjoyed it, man. Obviously, best Fantastic Four movie we've ever had, but it was really good in so many different levels. The family dynamics was like the key thing. They really expressed Marvel's first family. You know, we've seen team dynamics, we've seen all this other sort of stuff. This was the first sort of family dynamics. It had this really cool 60s sort of sitcom sort of vibe, almost remind me of the Jetsons or whatnot, but it was like a different universe, 820, 822, I can't remember now, but it was a different universe, so it was, you know, a futuristic 60s sort of city vibe that they were in, or universe that we were in, and then it does show them how they're going to get into 626, which is our universe. I think it's 626. Anyway, but they were in a different universe, which kind of is cool because they're going to bring, you know, them in from a different universe. So that was cool. The family dynamics, as I mentioned, was something new, and it was awesome to see that with them. It wasn't just a team. It's not about a family, superhero team. This is a superhero family, and they really kind of showed that in this movie, which was great. I think each character played the roles amazingly. I think Pedro Pascal and Mr. Fantastic done it really well. I think they really showed a vulnerability in his intelligence. Like, this is the most intelligence I think we've seen in the MCU. Don't get me wrong, Stark and Banner and all that, amazing. They figured out time travel and all that sort of stuff. But this guy, like, going to space in the 60s, you know, again, spoiler alert, they were trying to teleport the damn planet somewhere so Galactus don't get him. This is the 60s, they got this sort of technology and whatnot. Different kind of intelligence again, so it really showed how intelligent he is. However, there was a lot of vulnerability in his intelligence. You can see that in him. Obviously, he feels like he made the mistake of them going to space and them turning out how they are, so he takes that upon himself. So there's a lot of vulnerability there where he's not as humble or arrogant. He's more humble with it, so he's not as arrogant, you know, with his intelligence. There's a lot of caution, you can see a lot of scenarios and solutions running through his head, and some of those solutions, you know, are just not the best, but he's running all of them through his head. And he's also, you know, thinking about saving the world, but also thinking about his family and everything like that. So you can see the vulnerability in his intelligence and how it makes him feel. I think Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm was, again, absolutely amazing. Just the concrete of the family, just holding everyone together. But also that mum vibe, man, that mum energy, that mum strength. She kind of brought that, especially at the end, fighting Galactus, because I've never seen her to be that powerful. But it was that mum energy that kind of brought out. And again, that's what mums do, you know, they have that energy when their child is in any kind of jeopardy or whatnot. So she was really cool. Human Torch, again, I thought with him, he wasn't just the playboy, whatever. There was him wanting to be involved in the intelligent crew, like FSI intelligent crew, just wanting to be involved with the strategy and solutions and whatnot. I think, again, they showed a little bit of that. They kind of showed what he was going through. It's like, I can contribute more than just being, you know, the playboy and all that sort of stuff, which was kind of cool. And then Ben Grimes, the Thing, was also awesome. I don't think they went into him just trying to be normal and everything like that, considering how he looks. They kind of showed a lot of him, like, doing the shopping, being out on the streets, kind of playing around with the kids, or kind of all that sort of stuff. So it was that, I think, they showed with him just trying to fit in, considering how he looks. They didn't spend too much time or energy on him on being down on the way he looks, but I feel like he was the one that they showed on the streets the more, and I feel like that's how they were just trying to, like, show him, like, just trying to fit into society. It is what it is. I mean, look, the way they started the movie, they just got into it, which is great. Again, we don't need the backstory. They kind of got into it, and they, you know, had these little news kind of TV broadcasts on who they are. We all love them. The world loves them and whatnot. They're all these superheroes, the first superheroes. And all that stuff. So they didn't really get into that. So we don't need to see that anyway, to be honest with you. I kind of like that they just got into it. No need for that. And they just you start building not just the character dynamics, but the family dynamics, which is super important for this movie. Julia Garner as Shalabal as Silver Surfer. She was actually really freaking cool. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's a female, they've changed it. And I was a bit hesitant at first. I was like, oh, why are you changing it? And then Kibbs told me, like, no, gee, she's in the comics. There's versions of her in the comics. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, then I was thinking, is she in a different universe? Is this going to be our Silver Surfer and Fantastic Four, or is this in a different universe? So it's confirmed it's in a different universe. So it does mean in our universe, we've still got a Galactus out there. We probably have a different Silver Surfer and whatnot, a male version or whatever. But at first, I'm not going to lie, I saw that and I was like, what's going on? But listen, like, after that, I was like, all right, well, cool, I'm still invested. I'm still going to watch it. That doesn't put me off or anything, to be honest with you. It just kind of made me think twice. However, when I watch it, it's like, oh, but now your job is to make me love the character, and I did. She was freaking badass. They gave a short little backstory on her throughout that. There was character building with her as well as the movie went on, but just, she was badass. I thought she was sick. So by the end of it, I was like, man, like, I'm good. That's your Silver Surfer. But obviously, in our universe, we're gonna have a different Surfer. But I had no issues with her. She was freaking badass. Star of the freaking movie, man, Galactus. To see Galactus on the big screen, my God, that was a spectacle. I'm not gonna lie, I can't even express it. It was amazing to see Galactus on the big screen. Absolutely freaking powerful. I'm not gonna lie, that was what we wanted to see back in the days, but it is what it is. We got Cloud, this time we got Galactus, we got this whole freaking ship and everything connected to. He was fantastic. He was freaking awesome. So, you know, I can't wait to see more of him, and I hope we will get more of him, and I believe we will. But giving us him was absolutely fantastic. Not disappointed with him at all. Look, they took us through a cosmic adventure with this one, which we saw, in the Avengers and in the MCU that we've seen with Thor and and Guardians of the Galaxy. But this was Earthlings being in space. And yes, we got it in Endgames and Infinity War and whatnot, but this is like Earthlings going to space and all this. It was different, which is why I felt like the intelligence, this is the 60s, and the intelligence they have is crazy. So I would love to see, when Reed Richards does come to our universe, because they showed that in the Thunderbolts, what he would do with the technology in 626. I think that's our universe. In the comic times, it's just going to be crazy. So that was awesome. They showed other characters like, what's his name, Mo-Man. Is it Mo-Man? I think it is. I think it is anyway, but played by Paul Walter. A lot of other Fantastic Four villains and characters that were in it that were kind of mentioned and everything. I'm not familiar with all of them, but really cool. They didn't mention anything about Inhumans, I don't think they did. No, I think I would have clocked that one. I don't saw anything with Inhumans, and I know they're quite involved with the Fantastic Four. But overall, just great, and just great story of Galactus, at the same time building on the family values, at the same time kind of introducing Franklin Richard, who's just like a cosmic level, or level 5, what's it called, level 5 mutant or whatnot. So, Galactus was able to see the power of the child and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that in the future. They're setting up for, spoiler alerts, obviously, as I said in the beginning, setting up for Avengers Doomsday and all that sort of stuff. At the end of the movie, there was an end credit scene with Doctor Doom and whatnot. There was cool little hints in the movie, during the movie with Latvia, I believe it is, hopefully I'm saying it right, but he showed up at the end. You didn't see Downey's face, but you see the mask, you see the back of him. It was goosebump moments. I'm not gonna lie though, I'll be honest with you, the film was so captivating with Galactus that I didn't even think about Doctor Doom. I forgot about him until we got to the end. I was like, oh shit, yes, Doctor Doom. So that was pretty awesome. I have to say, I didn't even think about it. That's how awesome it was. My only, listen, I got thoughts, and I'm not saying it's a perfect movie or whatnot. My only disappointment, and I want to know more, not disappointment, what I want to know more answers about is at the end of Thunderbolts, you showed Fantastic Four ship coming into our universe, 626. They didn't show any connection in the movie on how they came to the movie. So my question is, how are you going to show that? Maybe it's going to be Avengers Doomsday, they show that part. Cool, them kind of, they showed Doom. So maybe what happens, I don't know, maybe Doom kidnaps Franklin, he somehow goes into the different universe, and comes to 626 or whatever, and they have to find him. Maybe that they spend a portion of Avengers Doomsday giving us that backstory. I thought that would have been in this. However, yeah, you don't want to add another story into it. You focused on Galactus, which was cool. If you're gonna focus on another story with Doom, it gets too much. So maybe that's a future story that they're gonna give us, 20-minute little backstory in Doomsday or whatever. But we'll see. But I was just thinking, throughout the movie, I was thinking, are they gonna come into the universe or whatnot? But anyway, we'll get more of that into it. But look, that was me and kids are gonna do a full-on review and breakdown and try and get Easter eggs and all that sort of shit. But I wanted to just give you my first thoughts after a week or whatnot to really think. I thought it was fantastic. I really did. Super hyped. Last couple months of superhero movies, I've just not been disappointed. I've just had fun with it. I've enjoyed it. Not coming out thinking, oh, come on, that's basic. All memorable characters, you know what I mean? It's like, I want to see more. I definitely want to see more of Galactus, that's for sure. I definitely want to see more of Fantastic Four. And I definitely want to see more of Silver Surfer, be it this one or the new one, to be honest with you. But they really opened up the cosmic world, and I feel like, man, them coming into the 626 universe is going to be something special. So they've done a great job. They've done a great job of introducing Marvel's first family into the MCU, and they've done a great job of making me want to see more. Each character, it was the fact, I can't even say each character got their shine, the family got the shine, and that's what I think is important with this movie. Alright, cool. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Me and kids will do a full-on review, which will come out in a couple of weeks, and we can proper break it down after Kim has seen it. He hasn't got an opportunity to see it. But again, shout outs to Disney Mina and Marvel Mina, Mina Middle East, Africa regions, for giving me the opportunity to see it. Alright, cool, guys, that's my thoughts, that's my review, and we'll catch up soon. Peace.